Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shake you awake. You've been dealing with toxic people all wrong. You think the answer is setting boundaries, cutting them off, avoiding them. That's weak. That's survival mode. I'm going to show you how to take back your power for real. Because let's be honest, these toxic people, they're not going anywhere. You cut one out, another one shows up. You avoid them at work, but they're in your family. You think moving cities will help? Nope. Toxic people exist everywhere. So the smartest way to deal with them, it's not about them, it's about you. Toxic people are like a virus, but a virus can only infect a weak immune system. You stop dealing with toxic people when you stop being available for their poison, when you become so unshakable, so untouchable that their drama, their manipulation, their negativity doesn't even register in your world. Toxic people have one weapon, your reaction. That's it. They don't have real power. They don't have control over your life. They can't actually do anything to you unless you let them into your mind. They live for the moment you snap, break down, or second-guess yourself. They feed on your frustration, your anger, your confusion, and the second you give them a reaction, they win. They will test you. They will say things just to get under your skin. They will push every button you have because they are addicted to control. They manipulate. They guilt-trip. They twist reality. They want you so emotional, so flustered, so lost in their chaos that you can't see the truth. They are powerless without your response. You need to understand this at a level so deep that it rewires your brain. The moment you stop reacting, you become untouchable. The moment you stop giving them what they want, they lose all influence over you. And the second they realize they can't shake you, they panic, because without your reaction, they are nothing. You ever notice how toxic people keep escalating when you stay calm? That's because they're scrambling. They can feel their grip slipping. They insult you harder. They play dirtier. They throw bigger tantrums. But that's when you know you're winning. That's when you stay even calmer. You don't fight back. You don't explain yourself. You don't defend yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Toxic people want chaos. They want drama. They want you emotionally invested in their games. When you stay composed, when you refuse to take the bait, you force them to face the one thing they fear most, their own emptiness. They can't handle it. They need someone to fight, someone to prove something to, someone to manipulate. But when you refuse to engage, they are left alone with their own toxicity, and they hate it. You don't need to argue with them. You don't need to prove your point. You don't need to win them over. You win the second you stop letting them control your state of mind. Your peace is your power. Your control over yourself is what makes you unstoppable. The strongest person in the room isn't the one yelling. It's the one who stays calm while everyone else loses their mind. Every time you react, you train them to keep going. You teach them that their tactics work. But the second you stop feeding the fire, it burns out. No fuel, no fire, no reaction, no control. They will try everything to get you to engage. Guilt, anger, pity, provocation. They will dig into your insecurities. They will say things designed to cut deep. But the moment you realize their words are just noise, you stop being affected. It's not about ignoring them. It's about mastering yourself. It's about understanding that their opinion means nothing, their validation means nothing, their approval, their disapproval, their insults, their praise, it's all meaningless. The only thing that matters is what you decide to believe. The only thing that affects your life is what you give energy to. They don't make you feel anything. You allow yourself to feel it. They don't put you in a bad mood. You allow them to. And the moment you take back control of your emotions, you become something they can't handle. Untouchable. Most people spend their lives being puppets, letting toxic people pull their strings. One comment ruins their day. One argument throws them off course. One person's negativity drains all their energy. That's weakness. That's being a slave to other people's dysfunction. That's letting external forces dictate your internal world. But you're not weak. You're not here to be controlled. You're here to master yourself so deeply that no one can shake you. Imagine if nothing they said bothered you. Imagine if they couldn't provoke you no matter how hard they tried. Imagine if their insults bounced off you like nothing. That's real power. That's freedom. That's how you break free from toxic people. Not by cutting them off, not by avoiding them, but by becoming someone who is completely unaffected by them. They will try to break you, but only if you let them. They will try to make you doubt yourself, but only if you listen. They will try to make you feel small, but only if you believe them. But the second you decide that their words mean nothing, that their opinions mean nothing, that their validation is worthless, you win. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who cannot be controlled. And the way you become that person is simple. Never react. Never let them in. Never let their poison enter your system. Because the moment you do, they own you. But when you don't, when you stay calm, when you refuse to engage, they lose all power and you take yours back forever. Toxic people don't deserve your energy. They don't deserve your explanations. They don't deserve your emotional investment. Every second you spend trying to fix them, trying to reason with them, trying to get them to understand your side is a second you'll never get back. And the truth is, they already understand. They know exactly what they're doing. They just don't care. You keep thinking if you just explain it better, they'll finally get it. If you just show them enough love, they'll finally change. If you just put up with them a little longer, they'll finally treat you right. But they won't. They never will because toxic people don't want resolution. They don't want peace. They don't want healthy relationships. They want control. They want power. They want you drained, exhausted, questioning yourself. The hardest truth you'll ever accept is that some people are committed to misunderstanding you. And no matter how many times you explain, no matter how much proof you give, no matter how reasonable you are, they will twist your words, play the victim, and make you out to be the problem. You could sit them down with undeniable evidence, and they would still find a way to manipulate the situation in their favor. Because they don't want the truth, they want control over you. And the second you realize that, you stop wasting your energy. You stop arguing. You stop trying to change them. You stop expecting them to be someone they're not. You stop hoping that someday they'll wake up and realize what they've done, because that day isn't coming. They are exactly who they want to be, and they have no intention of changing. That's why you have to cut off your energy supply. Not just physically, but mentally. Because even if you go no contact, even if you distance yourself, if you're still thinking about them, still replaying conversations in your head, still wondering if you did something wrong, they still own a part of you. And that's exactly what they want. They don't need to be in your life to control you. If they're still living in your mind, they're still winning. The only way to beat them is to make them irrelevant. Not by blocking them, not by deleting their number, but by truly not caring anymore. By realizing that their opinion is worthless. By understanding that nothing they say or do actually matters. Because the second you stop giving them energy, they lose all their power. They become just another background noise in your life, something you barely notice. You need to stop expecting closure. Stop expecting an apology. Stop expecting a moment where they finally admit they were wrong. It's not coming. And even if it did, it wouldn't change anything. Because an apology from someone who doesn't truly care is just another manipulation tactic. They don't apologize because they mean it. They apologize because they want to keep you in their game. And every time you let them back in, you reset the cycle. You don't owe them a conversation. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them one last chance. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself liberation. You deserve a life free from their turmoil, and that begins the instant you withhold your focus from them. Toxic individuals can't thrive without spectators. They crave someone to deceive, someone to dominate, someone to provoke. The moment you cease being that target, they begin to fade. Their hold weakens. They flail about. They intensify efforts to reel you back. But if you stand resolute, if you decline to participate, they shift their sights elsewhere. The reality is, these people aren't indiscriminate. They don't mistreat just anyone the way they've mistreated you. They select their prey deliberately, those who are compassionate, generous, eager to believe in others' goodness. They pick individuals who offer endless forgiveness, who dread appearing unkind, who grapple with release. That's why escaping feels so daunting. They've conditioned you to feel ashamed for prioritizing your own well-being. Yet you owe them nothing. Not your moments, not your compassion, not a spot in your existence due to shared pasts, blood relations, or societal expectations. You're entitled to depart. You're entitled to select yourself. You're entitled to release them without remorse. And when you do, you'll uncover something profound. You never relied on them. It was always they who depended on you. Toxic folks endure by convincing you that survival without them is impossible, that you require their endorsement, their nod, their company. They aim to make you think severance means forfeiting something precious. But what are you truly surrendering? The anxiety, the turmoil, the perpetual mental drain, the unending sense of inadequacy. That's no defeat, it's triumph. You need no clearance from them to advance, no sanction to claim your freedom. No rationale for your closure. All that's required is declaring their chapter in your narrative concluded. They forfeit entry to your vitality. You're reclaiming every fragment of your thoughts and soul they once commandeered. Starve a flame, and it extinguishes. Deprive toxic people, and they vanish. Cease fueling their disorder, and their influence dissolves. Reclaim your essence, and the truth emerges. You were never captive. You simply had to revoke their access. Toxic individuals believe they've triumphed. They assume they've shattered you, etched an indelible wound you'll never mend. They revel in the agony they inflicted, drawing sustenance from your lingering resentment, your pain. They crave the notion of an enduring imprint on you, but they overlook that every torment they imposed can transform into the catalyst that renders you invincible. The wisest choice you'll make is channeling every slight, every treachery, every scheme into propulsion. Hone it to refine yourself. Forge a life so formidable, so impervious, that they dwindle to a mere annotation in your triumph tale. For toxic people don't demolish resilient souls. They forge them. They sought your frailty, your self-doubt, your entrapment in loops of validation-seeking. But now, they hold no significance. They're specks in your hindsight, insignificant against the horizon you're crafting. And that dreads them, for the last thing they desired was your awakening to your inherent might. Toxic people don't prey on the feeble. They target those brimming with promise, radiance, qualities they envy, fortitude, endurance, empathy, drive. They attempt to extinguish it because your essence exposes their voids, and when they falter in your downfall, when they witness your ascent, your flourishing, your evolution beyond their visions, it scorches their essence. They aimed for your ruin. Instead, you emerged formidable. The ultimate retribution isn't severance. It's evolving into an entity they can't graze, someone so prosperous, so joyful, so assured that their venom becomes laughable. Someone unmoved by their echo. Someone who's transcended them utterly, rendering them obsolete in your realm. They presumed they were instructing you by devaluing you, by diminishing you. But, unwittingly, they were tempering you, equipping you with the insights to embody your mightiest self. Now, every fracture they aim to inflict fuels your unstoppability. Let them gossip, let them observe, let them stagnate as you surpass all they wielded against you. Let your name resonate in spheres they'll never breach. Let them witness your transformation into what they deemed impossible. Let them suffocate in their rancor while you surge forward beyond their grasp. They envisioned your emotional ruin, your self-questioning, your fixation on yesterdays. But you're harnessing the blaze they ignited to construct something indestructible. You're alchemizing every ache into achievement. You're affirming, not to them, but to yourself, that their sway was illusory. They'll never concede it, but your triumphs haunt them. Your rise sans them, your grins beyond them, your bliss out of reach. That's their dreaded outcome. They aspired to star in your saga, to be the unhealable scar. But now they're nullified. With each elevation, each victory, each self-affirmation of capability, you diminish them further, opting serenity over strife, resolve over sabotage, dignity over their affirmation. You erode their former dominion. They banked on your stasis, your irreparable fracture, your obscured strength. They erred profoundly. Now you're inaccessible to them eternally. Someone who bypasses vengeance for prosperity suffices. They claim no more of your hours, no tenancy in your psyche, no rationale for your restraint. Dwelling on them squanders precious instants on the unworthy. Echoes of their barbs grant undue territory. The pinnacle act is rendering them inconsequential, living vibrantly, wholly, boldly, relegating them to an outgrown chapter. They weren't rivals, merely diversions. Your true adversary was the former you, the one who endured them, who undervalued themselves, who lingered in depletion. Each self-election, each advancement, each refusal to regress secures victory. They craved your fracture, your skepticism, your conviction of insufficiency. But now, their sole recourse is witnessing your embodiment of all they denied you, could achieve, and that's a vengeance from which they'll never rebound.